Alan, you were going to go meet Thibodeau at the salmon pens. There, it's very, very risky what you did, but I'm hoping that a clue came from it.
Right, I went with Mo out to the Kingfisher salmon pens. Okay. And when we got there, there was an argument between Thibodeau and Connor. They argued back and forth, and I noticed she had something in her hand. He was trying to grab it, so she just turned and threw it in one of the pens. And from what I've heard Angel and Kristen talking about the bang stick, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Tell me what happened.
We get off the boat, and all of a sudden, we see there's more sweepers than I've ever seen before in one area, which completely caught me off guard.
When I got to the boat, Lambert was in it, and he had caught a Mako shark, about 300-400 pounds, and used those 2 sticks to kill it.
I see Connor jump off with something, and I start chasing her down the dock, yelling her name.
Okay.
And I go, Connor, what's that in your hand? She goes, what do you think it is? I go, I don't know what it is. What is it? And she goes, it's a bang stick.
Okay, I guess it's a very common tool fishermen use when they're out fishing, but that's the first time I've seen it or heard of it when you guys mentioned it. Now, you saw the bang stick first, so Angel and Kristen, you're going to train today for a cold water dive. It's dangerous, but I want you to recover that bang stick. It could be the murder weapon.
Yeah.
Now, on the Kovic track. On the night of Lyda's murder, Kovic said he was at the diner until 11 o'clock. Duncan was able to pull the phone records from Lyda Rose Blodgett's house on the evening of the murder. There's a copy. There was a phone call made at 11:15 from Lyda's house to Reverend Rusty Crandall's residence. The Reverend had brought the tape over with a timestamp of 10:15. Did the Reverend deliberately change this timestamp? I say we clear it up right now. Let's call over there and talk to him and see what the problem is, okay?
Hello?
Yeah, can I speak to Reverend Rusty Crandall, please?
You know, he just got into the shower. Who is this?
This is Gary with the investigators. Who's this?
Hey, Gary, this is Mary Elizabeth.
Ah, Mary Elizabeth. Okay.
Help you with anything?
Yeah, maybe you could. The answering machine that the Reverend has there. Do you see it? Can you tell me what time it says?
It says that right now it is 1:08. Oh, my goodness. You know what? It is an hour. It's an hour behind. He must have forgotten to change it.
Okay, can you just tell him that we called then, and if he gets a chance to get back with us?
Sure.
Thank you, Mary Elizabeth. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so Kovic says he left at 11 o'clock from the diner. This call was made at 11:15. The diner is very close. Within 15 minutes, could have easily gone up there. So Kovic is not eliminated by the alibi he gave us. But we want to talk to Sam. Again, you don't need to reveal to her any of the things that Frank has said, but see what she has to say.
The crappy part about all this is, like, asking people their alibi, because they think we're, like, immediately accusing them, when really, in actuality, it helps us so much, because it creates a timeline for, like, what's going on, and just helps us out so much.
Sure, yeah, of course.
But I guess most recently, I mean, for Lyda, that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
Trying to find out what everyone was doing on Wednesday night.
I was here at the diner.
You were at the diner?
Yeah, I was here.
Hey, Frank.
What's
up, Frank? For a second.
Yeah, what are you guys talking about?
I was just chilling out.
Yeah, about Wednesday night. Frank came by. Frank was here.
You guys asked me about Wednesday night yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. I just had a couple more
it's
questions.
okay.
Do you mind if I ask you over here?
I kind of pulled him aside, and he was like, I want to take you back to my office with me. I have something to show you. And he tried to get us all away from Sam. I'm like, they're just going to sit and talk with Sam. I'll come with you. Don't worry about it. I just don't want them to upset her, you know?
I got it. Where'd you go after you left the diner the other night?
I'll tell you that. I wasn't completely honest with you yesterday. I was at Lyda's house the night she was killed. I got home around 8:30, and Tate told me that she had just gotten off the phone with Lyda. And Lyda had said, you should know that your husband and Samantha have been having an affair.
So Frank took off, went back to Lyda's house around 9 o'clock. He said he was so mad he didn't know what he was going to do.
And she just stood there and she let me yell at her. And then she said, which I didn't expect, she said, do you want to come in and sit down? And I did. And she was really calm, and she looked at me and she said, were you really going to tell Tate about this?
He said he didn't do anything to Lyda that night. The only thing that I really don't like about Frank right now is that his game was found at the scene of the murder, which he did say he was at Lyda's twice before that day. But I still don't like that that was there, and he really doesn't have a good alibi.
Tell you something about Frank. Okay. Frank is a really, really good guy. I know. And, he would never do anything to hurt anybody. And I know you guys are kind of on his case about, like, where he's been spending his time and stuff. But, I don't know if you know this, but I'm 2.5 months pregnant with Frank's baby. You know, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And, you know, I love Frank as a friend, but I just don't know, I don't know what we're going to do. Of course, I don't want to break up his marriage, and he's got a little girl.
I totally understand.
Well, I wasn't shocked at all that Sam was pregnant with his baby. You could just tell it wasn't just a brother and sister friendship. There was something more.
I want you guys to know. I'll just show it to you. You know, I told you guys that I have been doing some digging. And I have a friend who works at a bank down in Grady, but it's based in the Cayman Islands. There's a branch in Nova Scotia. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Flint had an offshore account.
Okay.
Now, the only reason that somebody would have an offshore account is so that you can circumvent U.S. banking laws. It's a lot easier to dump money and hide money.
It's going to help us establish a motive for the killer, why the killer went after Nate Flint, if he's got the secret money. Sometimes people kill people when they owe something, seek revenge. It's a pretty common motive within murder investigations, so money does come into play.
If you ever feel pain in your ears or your sinuses, you need to stop your descent and come up. If you don't do that, you can rupture an eardrum, you can lose your hearing for the rest of your life. You can rupture the linings of your sinuses. They fill up with blood. As a rule, equalize early, equalize often, not have any trouble.
We had to put these huge suits on that looked like space suits. And we had to be completely enclosed in these masks and breathe in this little tiny thing, which made me feel claustrophobic at first. They didn't think it was safe for me to go under, but Angel mastered it and was able to go under.
I think it's asking too much of anyone. I'm not saying it's asking too much of you.
Right.
It's asking too much of anyone to try and use the latest gear in the worst conditions.
I convinced her that even though she wasn't getting into the water, she was still a big part of the team, our team, just her and I. And whatever I accomplished, she accomplished along with her.
You know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
I'll find some treasure.
Love Pizza Hut?